Hey guys, I am Jennifer Yarbrough. I am your nonprofit expert. I am super excited that you are joining me. You guys know that I come into this room and into this group on a regular basis, sharing tips and nuggets and powerful juice to help your nonprofit organizations move from the place of stuck in startup to sustainability. And I am super excited to be able to introduce to you my friend and a person who is a professional in this area of Google grants. All right, so we're going to talk about the Google Ad grants. I know that many of you have called me, reached out to me, and said, "Jen, we need volunteers. Jen, we need board members. Jen, we want and need more donors." And one of the most powerful tools that your organization has is your website. All right, is your website. Now, the website is a place by which your donors, your community members, your potential funders are going to go to learn more about your organization. But get this, Google is offering nonprofits $10,000 a month, $10,000 a month in free ads. Now, these ads show up targeted intentionally in front of people who are looking to support organizations like yours. I know you all hate prospecting. I know you hate going into rooms trying to find a donor. Jen, where do I find donors? Where do I find board members? Where do I find people? How about you have an opportunity to be found? To be found for people who are looking for, searching for organizations that they can support, that they want to support, and learning about you and what you do. Now, that's a very targeted conversation, right? I'm saying you, yes, you, yes, you. You're like, oh, she's not talking about me. No, I'm talking about you. Very targeted searches for people who are looking for organizations like yours to support. All right. So I wanted to invite my friend, my colleague, a person that I trust in this field to be able to come and share with you her background, her expertise, and her insight, just so that you would be like, all right, Jen, you're going to answer all my questions for me. You're going to tell me the truth. And you know I'm here. You guys know I'm your nonprofit expert. I am here to help you make sure that you are investing in the right things, that you get the return on that investment, and that your organization is able to grow. All right. Knowledge is power. And so this knowledge today has the power and the potential of getting your organization $10,000 per month from Google. All right. Y'all spend days and weeks on Uncle Google, right? You guys go to Uncle Google for everything. How about we now talk about how Uncle Google can support your efforts at the tune of $10,000 per month in free ads. All right. So I want to introduce my friend Sylvia Coletto. She is a professional in this area. She's a professional in Google Ads. And I will confess that I'm also using her service. So she's on the real deal. All right. She is doing the right thing. And so I want her to speak to you all as well. Lady Sylvia, will you introduce yourself, your background, and share with our friends and our nonprofit leaders just about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, Jennifer, thank you for bringing me here into this conversation. It is a pleasure. I'm grateful to be helping you with your business, and I'm grateful to be able to do this for non-profits in general. I am a paid advertising specialist, and within the paid advertising specialty, my favorite is Google. I've been doing this my entire professional career. And I've been working in digital marketing also. So on top of paid advertising, I have a knowledge of marketing strategy. I have knowledge of social media. I've done offline marketing. I've done pretty much everything with the except for website build because I do not understand any of that. I'll be honest with you. But then within a couple of years of starting my marketing career, I said, you know what? The most powerful thing right now is digital. Everything is becoming digital. 98% of the searches or consumer journeys, buyer journeys begin online. 98%. Now, if you think if you think, okay, maybe 90% is too high, maybe it's 90, maybe is 85, but the point is, it's not the number, it's the fact that most of the searches begin online. And that's where most of people go to when they have a question, and then when they have a problem to fix. And that's the place where you can be to give a solution. And that's where the magic happens. So if you think about what happens on Google, you Google because you've got a question or you've got a problem. The moment you do that, Google is giving you results that they think are most likely to fit with what you're looking for. And you have the opportunity with Google to appear just at that moment in time where the specific person is looking for something similar to what you've got to offer, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, but in your case, maybe it's volunteers, maybe it's donors, maybe you've got any commercial activity within the charity that supports you with the charity. For example, I've been working with a charity that supports people with learning disabilities, and that they are working in this restaurant, and we were supporting them for booking for the restaurants. That's a commercial activity, but it's still within the scope of the charity. So that goes to show how many things you can do if you just know how to be in the right place at the right time.
I think that what you said right now is so powerful in terms of being in the right place at the right time. Because when people are going to Google at that moment, at that time, they have a desire, they have an interest in a certain thing. And you, as the nonprofit, showing up at that right moment really puts you to the top of the list in terms of their consideration, in terms of their awareness, and even them taking action now, because you will show up. You're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we're looking for. And now we can take action. Let's talk about the nonprofit that is best suited for the Google ad grants, because there are some people who said, I've heard of it, I've even applied for it, but I didn't get it. Right? Okay. So there is that hesitancy of, I don't know why I didn't get it. What might be some of the reasons that they did not receive it, and how can working with us now help overcome that hesitancy or fear? Because we want people to be assured that, just like with any grants, and you guys know I'm the grant guru. There's a grant out there, I'm going to help you get it, right? And so this is exactly one of those that you want to, consider, because again, we're talking about $10,000 of free ad money every single month to be in that space where people are talking about. So let's talk about the process and what are some of the things and reasons people might need to know about.
So first of all, it's not for every nonprofit. If we're talking about the United States here, because Google has got this program all around the world, but specific to the United States, you have to be a 501c3. If you're not a 501c3, you're not eligible for the grant. Okay. Let's assume that you're a 501c3. Then you've got a series of eligibility criteria for your website. First of all, you need to have a website. If you don't have a website, we're going to have a problem. You cannot qualify for the grant. You have to have a website. And but let's talk about that later if you don't, because there are some options and there are some people that we can recommend that can help you with that. Assuming that you do have a website, there are some criteria that you need to take into consideration. Criteria number 1, you need to own your website. So you cannot have a third-party donation page. I mean, you could, because there are a few that you can use that are certified, but the problem is they are unlikely to explain the entire scope of your charity. They won't have your mission, they won't have your vision, they won't, it's not a complete experience, so you are unlikely to be accepted for the grant. So you need to own your own website, first of all. you need for the website to be mobile responsive. That means that if you open your website on your phone, the design needs to rearrange to fit the mobile screen or the tablet or whatever. If it doesn't fit the screen, that means the website is old, or the people who created it did not create it with mobile in mind, and you will not be eligible for the grant. The reason being because Google is all about giving great experience to the people who are searching on Google. Otherwise, what's the point? They're going to lose money. So if you're trying to look at your phone and trying to look at the tiny microscopic text or images because the website does not fit the mobile device, Google says this is not a good experience. They're not going to give you the grant. Third one, you need your mission stated clearly on the, and I mean clearly as you can, preferably on the home page. It needs to be crystal clear what the charity or non-profit is about and how you're helping people. Because it has to be clear to people who visit your website that you are a non-profit and you are doing a service for the community. So your website cannot be confused with a for-profit website where their entire goal is to sell something. Your entire goal is to help somebody else and get some money and some funding and do some activities or sell something to fund the ability to do that. So that's a different thing. Fourth, you need to have updated content on the website. There is in no way Google is going to accept the grant and give you the grant if you have content that, I don't know, that you publish an event that happened 6 months ago and you haven't removed it from the website. That tells Google that you're not looking after your website. 5, if you could have updated fresh content, as in a blog section that says, oh, we had this event, we had this fundraise, we are doing this activity, pictures, etc., so that Google knows that you're active and Google sees what you're doing within the charity. That's not mandatory, but it helps a lot. Number 6, you can't have any broken links on the website. And by broken links, I mean if you click on something and it says error message 404, this link doesn't work, you cannot have that. All the links, double check all the links and make sure that they are working, because that is not going to give you the grant. These are the main factors. And also, 7th one, if you do have a donation page on the website, or you have an e-commerce section on the website when you're selling merch or whatever else, you need on that page to have 1 or 2 sentences that explain how you're going to use the funds from the sale or the donation. Not in too much detail. I mean, they don't need every single thing, but if, for example, they say, okay, so all the sales from this page, etc., are going to be used for this type of event, or to fund this type of activity, to pay the people within our charity to perform this kind of service for the community. And number 8, that is not related to the website though, but I think I have to mention it here as well. The funding part is very important, because then you will have to submit your latest annual report to Google for them to review what you're saying that the money goes to and where the money actually goes to have to match. Mm-hmm. If they don't match, Google gets suspicious. You're probably not going to be accepted for the grant. So these are the main things. I know I talked for 5 or more minutes straight, but I think it's very important to cover all the grounds.
I appreciate you being so thorough in your response, because I think that many people have questions and we just don't know what we don't know, right? And for those of you guys who come to me and say, Jen, I need a grant, Jen, I need a grant. And you guys know the first thing I talk about is what's the criteria, right? Do you meet the criteria of the funder? And then if we're going to put in the work and we're going to invest our time, we want that return on the investment being and beginning with, we meet the criteria, right? And so for many of you who are saying, I need something to be produced from my website, let's talk about then, of the 8 items that Sylvia has mentioned for us, we hope that you at least have 6, 5, right? At the minimum. And if not, then let's help you get the other 3 or the other 4 that you need so that you can meet the criteria. Now, this is like with any other grant. Those of you guys who come to me for the grant.gov, or those of you guys who come to me for the federal grants or the foundation grants, or private grants or whatever, we've got to make sure that we meet the criteria. And so this is an opportunity for you guys to really assess, am I ready? What do I need to do to get ready? And then where am I and how do I take action? Okay, so think about that as we learn from Ms. Sylvia about the Google Ad grants that provide an offer from Google, $10,000 per month to nonprofits. Now let's talk about that, Sylvia. I heard you one day make a statement about why does Google give this money to nonprofits, right? And I just cracked up when I heard your response, but I want you to share it.
Off the record. Oh, do you want the real answer? Okay, so let's be real here. Google wants to look like the ones that do all this amazing work and give money away to charities because they're amazing, because of the kindness of their own heart. That's not. Let's be real. The reason why they're giving money away is because if they give money away to charity, they're not taxed on the money. That's it. There is no noble cause behind it. They're just trying to avoid paying taxes. Having said that, though, I don't think we really care, because the result is that you get 10 grand a month in free advertising credit on Google. Whether let's be real, they're not going to pay taxes anyway. They're trying to evade paying taxes anyway. So at least we can get something out of it, right? So let's not wait for somebody else to take advantage of it. Why don't you take advantage of it? The money's there for the grabs.
I think that is the point that we want to take away. Those of you who know that grant funds are there for organizations to do their work, this is another way by which we can position ourselves to receive those free dollars that are going to come from Google to help you promote and advertise your program, your services, your campaign, your funding services, that the community, right? You are a community-based organization that now you've got an opportunity to position yourselves in front of the community as they are searching at that moment. I think that's the most powerful thing about the Google Ads, is that people are searching and you show up in a meaningful way and give them that option. So let's talk about now, Sylvia, those organizations that they have their organization, they have their 501c3, and the product. You mentioned, like, let's say a restaurant or some type of service that they have that generates revenue. Can you explain that more fully for those that say, I don't have that, or I have that and I don't know how, I'm not clear about how we can leverage that through Google Ads. What would that look like? You mentioned that you were doing reservations for a nonprofit. So can you explain a little bit of that for us, please?
Okay. So let me, if I understand correctly, you're asking me to explain what are the different ways in which you can show up, depending if it's a product or a service. Okay. Yes. So Google Ads, and apologies if I'm going to explain it like nobody knows anything about Google Ads, just in case so if you know already about Google Ads, apologies for the simplification. But so the way Google works is that you pick keywords that are strings of words, usually, that closely match your product or service. You create an ad, or in my case, I create at least 3 or 4 because I want to test which one works better. And I say, Google, every time somebody searches for this thing or something very similar to this thing, I want to show my ads. And if the quality of my ad is good and the website that I send the traffic to is good, Google says, yeah, great, that's a fantastic experience. Now we are going to show your ad to more people. The more you do that, the better it is, the cheaper it gets, and everybody's happy. There are different campaigns that you can create on Google, and it all depends on your goal. So if your goal is to look for volunteers, the keywords that you are creating, that you're looking and then you're selecting, are keywords around volunteering. Sometimes it's on a national scale, sometimes it's online, sometimes it's local. You can geographically restrict yourself as well, so it's not just national. You can choose where you show your ads to. If you are looking for donors, there are specific keywords for donors of charities or non-profits in a specific sector, and you decide to show up for those, and you write in the ad something that appeals to the person who's saying, for example, what are the best charities around for this specific thing that I can donate to? Because I promise you, there are people searching for that. I can see that every day. Mm-hmm. That is, you have to be there to raise that awareness that their choice could be you. They don't know that you exist. There are way too many charities and non-profits around, but you're there to let them know, I am one of the non-profits that should get your money because we do 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our mission. This is what we're doing. Go on your website or go on our website and check out more about what we do. And then when you get there, bam, you've got the mission, you've got the updated content, you've got your updated events. The entire ecosystem on your website supports the fact that they decided to click on your ad, and they see that you're active, they see that you're doing something for the community. At that point in time, they're not going to mind supporting your cause and donating because everything fits, everything's in the right place, you've done the right things on your website. So we talked about volunteers, we talked about donors, for restaurants, etc. Or if you got a charity shop, example, the ads support and target keywords that are around products. So charity shop near me, or charity shop asking for specific things. Or volunteers for charity shop, like to help manage the charity shop. For example, here where I live, in the United Kingdom, they're always looking for people having these 3 or 4 hour shifts in charity shops, because that is another form of volunteering. There you go. On the restaurant, you're saying looking for restaurants near me, etc. But instead of just saying book here, there is the non-profit spin. This restaurant is managed entirely by XYZ. They're doing this thing different, that thing different. So you are showing up there with a unique proposition, and you're saying to them, not only you can come out and eat and it's a fantastic thing, but you're also supporting the community, because all the people working here, the cooks, the waiters, etc., have this disability, or they've got this learning difficulty, or whatever it is. But it's always, you can do the same thing that you do for profits, but it's more powerful because you're appealing to you're doing something good for the community, and that in the advertising copy always performs better than just a list of features, because it's emotional. Most of the time it's emotional. It's never just facts. And that, for example, just tiny reflects on the work that we are doing and that I'm doing, like for Jennifer. Of all the ads that she's got running at the moment, the one that appeals to the emotion is one that's outperforming the competition by a country more. 90% of the success of the campaign is from one ad, and the ad says, fund and your mission entirely and make a difference. That is exactly what I'm talking about. You have to know what to say, and you have to know where to get in front of the right people at the right time. And that's a skill that takes many years to learn. But once you know, you can put it to good use. And in this case, with non-profits, I think it's the best use that you can put the knowledge to, really.
I think that you have said, Sylvia, what you all have heard me say. Giving is emotional, right? Our donors, our funders, our volunteers, they give because it's something that's important to them, right? And so they are searching for places where they can volunteer. They're searching for places where that has a cause that is of interest to them. And you want to be that nonprofit that shows up at that point of them hinting enter, right? And so for many of us who have looked into direct mail, let's say, right, we go over there to our good friend Fiverr and we buy these lists, and we want to now, get in front of them through an email or get in front of them through some type of post or DM. But how about this? If you were to spend that energy and time of being in place when they now are searching for you, one, you get a quicker response, you get a more direct return on that time and investment, and you now are immediately connected. You guys know I talk about the 3 C's. Connection is first. And so you now have an opportunity through these Google ads to connect and be in position to connect with individuals, funders and donors, volunteers, or whoever that says, I'm looking for this, right? So now it takes away the mystery. You guys know, and I know you guys are tired of me saying this, I am older than Google. I have been doing this longer than AOL, right? I was doing this before your laptop existed, right? I've been raising money for so long, and it starts with the connection. And we've got now all of these platforms, we've got all of these spaces and places where you can boost this ad or buy this ad over here. But I think that what Sylvia has pointed out for us is that Google is a place where people go to search. That's what they're looking for, right? And so you don't have to just kind of get a bot and show up in someone's DM unannounced, and I get hundreds of them every week, right? And I'm looking at them like, who are you and why are you coming to me? What is this about? And I get annoyed. You all do too, right? You get annoyed when people show up, they send you things, they ask you for things, and you're like, I don't even know you. Can I get a hello first, right? But now you get an opportunity to show up at a point where they are searching. So let's talk about the process of the search, Ms. Sylvia, because this is where the skill set comes in. Google only responds as to those keywords. And that's where, being knowledgeable is powerful. So for those of you who are thinking, is this worth thinking about or having a discussion about, I want you guys to go to my website. I want you guys to get on my calendar and let's talk about it, right? If you're like, Jen, this is a lot of information, I don't know what to do, I think I'm ready, I don't know, go to my calendar right now. Go to my calendar, jenniferyarbrough.com. You guys have noticed I got a new website too. Go on over there and check out my new website, jenniferyarbrough.com, and get on my calendar and let's talk about it, because I want you guys to be clear. I want you all to be ready, because listen, we're ending the year. We got 6 more months of 2021. Now is the time to start putting yourself in position even before the end of the year. You guys want to leverage Giving Tuesday. You want to leverage this time of giving season that's coming up. You got to show up in order to make that happen. So Sylvia, tell us what are some of the things that by participating in this program, what are some of the takeaways that we can say, not that, I don't like the word guarantee, but what are some of the things that you, in your experience,
Mm.
have seen from organizations that have um, benefited from the Google Ads program?
The first one, without any shade of a doubt, is brand awareness. And the second one is more traffic to the website. Brand awareness comes from the fact that you showing you yourself, your product or your service, what you do on Google searches where you wouldn't have showed up before, because usually your website are too small and don't have a lot of traffic. So you get tramped in the normal Google searches by bigger charities, bigger non-profits that have got that traffic. So you're bypassing that and you're coming on top of the search results, the organic ones, on in the paid space, which are the 4 top results almost every single time. So first of all, even if people don't click on your ad, that's brand awareness for you. When they click on your ad, the second benefit that you've got is more traffic to your website. Categorically, the day you turn on paid advertising, your website traffic is going to go up. I can promise you right now, even without, I can tell you exactly about how much. And I can't tell you exactly how much a website visit is going to cost you, because you need data for that you don't have until you start advertising. But I can promise you straight away you're going to get website traffic. And because you've got a lot that you can spend, because you've got 10 grand, you're going to see lots of it. Unless you are having people managing the account that don't know how to manage the account, in which case you could either not get anything, or you could get a little because they pigeonhole themselves into such a specific thing that you're not gonna be able to get a lot. And the whole purpose is to get as much traffic as possible for interested people. So yeah, number 1 is brand awareness. Number 2 is more website traffic from qualified, not just random people, but qualified people that are looking for your product or service. As a byproduct, again, there are no guarantees, like Jennifer says, but logically, let's look at it logically. What do you think is going to happen when people who are interested in your product or service go to your website? I mean, come on. Some of them are going to do what you want them to do. Some of them will not. However, here's what's cool about it. There is a feature in Google Ads that is called retargeting. That thing means that after a while, where you collected X amount of website visits, Google says, now you can take all these people, all these ones that went to your website but did not donate or did not inquire with you. You can retarget them with your ads and say something like, you're not going to say this, but just so I understand, hey, I know that you were on my website and I know you didn't donate, so I'm still here. You remember, I don't know if you got busy, you had other things to do, whatever, but I'm still here. So if you want to donate or you want to volunteer, I'm still here. So come back to our website and let's carry on the conversation. Google lets you do that, so it's not just a one-off. You can bring back people who didn't do what you want them to do, and you can bring them back as many times as you want. I mean, after a while, if they still don't do it, they're probably not going to do it. But it doesn't hurt to remind them more than once that you're there, and then you're looking for specific things, and then you want donors, you want volunteers, whatever you want. So this is the third benefit. The fourth benefit is that working with Google Ads sometimes helps your organic traffic, in the sense that, listen to this is what happens. Example, you're running Google Ads. People go to your website, but don't inquire or don't donate. They get distracted. They're like, oh, let me think about it. They leave. What usually happens 2-3 days later, what was that website again? Oh, I can't see the other one. Oh, but that one was, oh yeah, no, I remember, I have to donate. Great. So they remember your name, they search for the name, they see your website organically, so not paying for it. They click on the website, they come, they donate. So this is a normal journey of a person who doesn't decide to engage with you straight away. But it's still generated from Google Ads, because that's the starting point. Even if they then came to you via another route, they still got there because originally they got shown an ad from you. So as a byproduct of advertising more, you also get more organic traffic of people coming back because they remember, oh, that was the name of the website, let me look for it, let me just go in there. So that is another benefit. And I would say the last benefit is that if you are working with professionals in the Google Ads space, they are going to, one, if sometimes it's a separate service, sometimes it's included in your management, they're going to say, look, we need to have some tracking in place on the website so that we can tell what people do on your website, so that if you see that a donation from a certain type of people is more frequent, maybe you put some money behind, certain type of events that appeal to this type of people more. Or if you see that you got some e-commerce or merchandise on the website and you see that something is selling more than something else, oh, okay, so we could maybe do more things like this, or we could divert the spend in Google Ads to promote this type of thing more because it's selling more, so it's making more money, so it's more profitable for us. So a good Google Ads professional puts this tracking in place so that it helps you figure out where your money is best spent. It's not just about, oh, we're spending your money. Yes, at the beginning, because we don't know what we're looking at. But the moment we get data in and we figure out what people are doing, we react and we change things and we change the strategy and we try different things, and all to, and I hate this word, but I have to use it, maximize the money that you've got in order to get you the best possible results. Nobody can guarantee the results, but what we can guarantee is that we're doing every trick in the book in order to make sure that we do the best that we can do. And the last one is also tied to the fifth one, and that is the consultancy side. So a good Google Ads manager is also a consultant. So if I see something on your website that could benefit from being changed because I know that that's going to affect or improve your results, I'm going to tell you. If I see something that people are searching for that is roughly what you do but not really, I'm going to say to you, look, there's all this searching for this kind of thing. Would you consider doing this thing? Because you could probably get a lot from this. It's always a matter of, is it cost effective? Can we do it? Can we not? But at least you got the option, because now you have that information. So, I mean, I could go on for ages, but the benefits never end. That's in short, after 5 minutes, the benefits never end.
And listen, in my mind, which is cranking, because we know, guys, that fundraising and money is not in silos, right? So you've got the ad that's also working to drive traffic to your website, also traffic to your social media pages, also wanting to reach out and connect with you, right? So they are interconnected. And so if you all are sitting there thinking, well, I don't have the time, or I don't have a person who's designated to manage this process, this is why you have an opportunity now to take action, right? You guys know that I'm a grant writer. You guys know that I'm a fundraiser, and I'm a professional fundraiser, right? You guys know that my job in working with you and for you is to make sure that you have the systems, the tools in place that is going to help you leverage your awareness. Money comes after people are aware of you. They know that you exist. And so moving into this space where you now are able to take those contacts, that information that's very specific, unlike our favorite Facebook, right? You may get and go to their Giving Tuesday, but there's very limited information that you have about those that contribute to you, so that you can't continue to cultivate those relationships and directly contact them. This is an opportunity where you know who it is that's come to your page. You know who has said, contact me, we want more information. And you have the ability to now add them legitimately to your email list to begin to engage, to educate, to inform them on why they should, trust your organization as their favorite cause and charity. Okay. So listen, Sylvia, one last thing before we go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the management, because we don't want to give the assumption. I want you guys to be clear. It's not just put in an application, we get approved, and then bam, that's all there is. There is a management process that is going to help make sure that your organization is really leveraging the $10,000, right? Because there is a criteria even after you get the $10,000. So tell us about that, please.
Right. I am going to keep it simple because it is complicated.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep it really simple. Right. Applying for the grant and getting the grant, I'm sorry if you thought it was hard, but that's the easy bit. The hard bit is when you get the money. What do you do with it? So, after all the strategy, what are the goals, what do you need, etc., and that's a conversation that has to happen. And after, you have to create the ads, you have to create the campaign. After you create the ads and the campaign, it's not finished, it's only just started, because then the thing that we call optimization starts. And that is all the tasks done on a daily, weekly, bi-monthly and monthly basis, month in, month out, it never ends, to make sure that your account keeps improving. The biggest mistake that I see people make when they're hoping to get the grant and then wing it is that they don't understand the process of managing a Google Ads account, which means they're creating the ads and then they're leaving them. Mm-hmm. And then two things happen. Number one, you could lose the grant. Number two, if you don't lose the grant for whatever miracle, what happens is that because you're not working on the account, your performance keep going worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And what happens is that you have to think about the Google Ads account like an athlete. And I say all the time, if the athlete doesn't train, he's not going to win the Olympics. Your competitors are going to win and you're going to lose. You have to keep training. A Google Ads manager trains. It's a coach training the account to win the race against the competition. And so a few of the things that we do in the accounts, so checking your keywords, finding your keywords, put in the searches that you don't want to appear for in a bucket that says, please don't show when we search for these things. Because, for example, there was a children's charity that I'm supporting here in the UK that are giving birth certificates to children in third world countries, because without them they can't get married, they can't do anything, basically. And some searches are children's charities, how to support children's charities. And there is a list of keywords, knitting charities. What? So knitting, for example, is a word that you don't want to be, because you're not a knitting charity. You don't need patchwork duvets or whatever you want to call it. That is an example, and those type of searches creep in all the time. So you have to watch it like a hawk, and put and remove those keywords, because you're still going to pay for those things, and you don't want to. And then there's creating new ads, trying to improve on the ones that you have, trying different variations of advertising copy, different headlines, what is it working best, what is it not working at all. Is it the right landing page? Should we send people to another landing page? Creating seasonal campaigns. If you got, if the run up to Christmas is usually a big one, or some charities, non-profits have got set dates for big fundraisers in the year. Okay, what are we going to do? Where are we going to advertise? What are the different types of people we can advertise to? Check in the location settings, because sometimes you might advertise to people who are too far away from you and they would not be interested. It is never ending, and it's a continuous cycle of making sure not only that it works, but it keeps getting better. As far as the eligibility for the grant is concerned, there are some requirements in place that you keep the ratio between the people who see your ad and the people who click on your ad at over 5% during the month. I know that doesn't mean a lot to you, but that is hard to do. You need to be extremely relevant in order to make that happen. And another thing that you need, and again, that's not mean to you, every keyword that you use, Google gives it a quality score based on how relevant it is to your ads, to your website, etc. If this quality is below 3, which again is very easy because it's a difficult thing to do, you are likely to be losing the grant. So again, it's not set and forget. There is a lot that needs doing, and for a for profit, I would actually say just try to see what you can do, wing it, learn it. But they have got nothing to lose. They're not going to lose any money. They're not losing the grant. You are, if you're not doing the work. Hence why I'm saying either you've got a person within the charity already that knows exactly what to do, or I would not be risking a grant because you don't have the person and somebody just raised their hand and said, I could try to do it. Very expensive try if you lose the grant. So honestly, I wouldn't. But if you've got somebody within the charity that already does that for a living, yeah, by all means, take advantage, because they're hard to come by.
Yeah, I think that this has been invaluable, and I appreciate you, Sylvia, for just coming on and sharing with us the ins and outs of the opportunities, the possibilities, and the action that needs to happen. Now, listen, guys, fundraising is predictable. You guys always hear me say that, right? That if we connect with the right people and we are concerned about the same thing, then the capacity conversation in terms of their giving of their time, their giving of their resources or relationships, that's a very easy spin, right? When we get to that part of the C's, that's easy. What I'm here to help you with is really making that process straightforward, direct, and taking it off your hands. If you are too busy doing 1,000 other things, that's why many of you are not raising money. You're not in the right place. You're not comfortable saying the right thing because you've got too much on your plate. Listen, one person cannot build a house. You have an opportunity right now. I'm offering a very special offer for the first 10 people that respond. Okay. This is something that I am excited about. This is something that I am confident is going to move your organization in the area of branding, in the area of reach, and in the area of funding more than anything. Now, the investment is in yourself. Do you and are you worth the investment? Is your organization worth having professionals, experts helping you position your organization in the right place at the right time in front of the people who are ready to take action? Now, you guys hear me talk all the time about, now is your time, right? People are looking for and want to support your organizations. Writing grants is what I do, right? Fundraising is what I do. But now we're adding this piece, which is $10,000 from the Google ads. They're going to give it to a nonprofit. It might as well be you, right? And we want to make sure that you are in position, and we want to take the stress off your hands. Many of you guys are like, Jen, I need help. Jen, I'm doing this all by myself. Jen, I'm spending this. I'm paying for everything out of my pocket. Listen, if you're going to invest in something, invest in some help that's going to help you raise more money. All right. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If you are one of those 10, we only have spots for 10. That's it. All right. So don't get in my inbox talking about Jen. If you want to be one of those 10, and if you want to say, Jen, I'm really interested in our organization taking advantage of the Google grant, $10,000 a month in free ads. They're not going to send you a check for $10,000. Let me be very clear about that. They are not going to send you a check for $10,000. But how about this? They're going to give you something better. They're going to give you the opportunity to get in front of people, in front of businesses, in front of organizations, and people who are searching for your nonprofit. That could far exceed any investment that you would make in making that happen and bringing us in part of your team. All right. Many of you guys need help. I'm here to help. Miss Sylvia has been here to help us today as well, and even continuing on. This is what she does. She's an expert in this, and I'm excited to work with her. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm excited to see how we're going to raise you all some money to be fully funded going into 2022. All right. You all know that I'm not afraid of money, and we want to make sure that your organization has the resources that are there to help your program and your organization achieve your mission, have greater impact, so that you can continue to do the work that you're doing. If you guys are looking to pivot and getting a team, all right, inbox me, email me, go on over there and visit my brand new website, jenniferyarbrough.com as well, and get on my calendar. All right. These spots are going to go quickly. They're going to go quickly. So don't delay. Get on my calendar today. Sylvia, is there anything else that you would like to share before we say goodbye to our great friends?
I am trying to think about something that I haven't already said. But no, I don't think so. I'm excited as well, though, because, getting to do this and using the knowledge that I have finally for something good, something that is making a difference to the life of other people. It's what I really wanted to do for a long time, but I could never figure out how to do it at scale, and now I know how to do it, and I'm excited that for whatever reason in my life took me down this path where I learned this thing that now can be useful to other people. I never understood why I got where I got, but now I can see why. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm really looking forward to working with you guys. I think we can do really great things together.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're going to let Miss Sylvia go because she's in the UK. We appreciate her time. And listen, y'all, do not delay. We've got now until the end of June. Make sure that you are on my calendar. Let's get you guys set up and started so that we can get you applying for these Google Ad grants by July 1. We want to do a review of your website. We want to make sure that you're meeting the criteria. And if you have any questions at all about what that looks like, you can listen to the replay or just get in my calendar. Let's talk about it. Jump in my inbox and say, Jen, I have a couple of questions, and let's iron all that out, help you guys reach the criteria, and then get you guys this grant. All right, get you guys this grant and getting you the branding, the awareness, and the support financially that you need to take your organizations to the next level. You guys know I love you. I love the work that we get to do together. And it is all about your decision to be the best nonprofit in your community that you can be proud of and that your community will look to for greater health. All right, y'all, I'll talk to you later. Have an amazing rest of your day and evening wherever you